I keep going back and forth on whether to post this. Part of me thinks writing it out will help me process it, and part of me thinks I sound like a lunatic, but whatever. Here goes. I do cleanouts for a living. Foreclosures mostly, some abandoned rentals, couple hoarder situations a year. Basically, once a bank or a landlord takes a property back, they call guys like me to go in and get everything out so they can sell it or rent it again. It's not glamorous work. Most days it's just garbage bags and trying not to gag. You see a lot of sad stuff. Family photos people left behind, kids' toys. One time a dog crate with the door still zipped shut, and I don't want to talk about that one. Point is, I've been in a lot of empty houses and I've never had anything happen that I couldn't explain until 3 weeks ago. This place was a foreclosure in. Been empty at least a year, probably more. Had that wetwood smell that houses get when nobody runs the heat for a while. No power. Windows were so grimy you could barely see through them. Standard stuff, honestly. I've seen way worse. I was working the upstairs bedrooms. Tiny closet in the back bedroom, barely big enough for a rod and some hangers. There were a few coats still hanging, and behind them on the floor was a metal lockbox. Like the kind you'd keep documents in, the fireproof ones from Walmart or whatever. Okay, so this is the part where I have to be honest about something, because people keep asking me, why didn't you just leave? And the answer is because at this point nothing weird had happened yet. It was just a box in a closet. I open boxes and containers in these houses literally every day, because sometimes there's stuff worth salvaging and sometimes there's stuff the bank needs to know about. The box wasn't locked. Wasn't even latched all the way. Inside, one of those old chunky Polaroid cameras. A pack of film. And a stack of photos face down. They looked blank on the back. Just white. I picked them up to flip through them, and one slid off the stack and landed on my forearm where my sleeve was pushed up past my glove. Except it didn't land. It stuck. Flat against my skin, stuck, like a sticker or like wet paper, except it wasn't wet. And immediately cold. Not cool. Cold. Like I pressed an ice cube to my arm. I pulled it off quick and it made that sound, you know when you peel tape off skin. That ripping tacky sound. It took a second to come free. There was a white rectangle on my arm where it had been. And I don't mean pale. I mean white. Like the color had been sucked out of my skin. Like if you took a photo and erased one square of it down to nothing. I was still looking at that, trying to figure out what the hell, when I noticed the photo in my other hand was changing. It was developing. Or whatever the word is when a Polaroid goes from blank to showing an image. Except what it was showing was skin. My skin. I could see the freckle I have near my elbow. It was my arm. And right in the middle of the image was a dark square shape. I looked at my arm. Looked at the photo. Same spot. Then my arm started hurting. Not like a cut or a sting. More like, okay, you know when you press your thumb really hard into a muscle and hold it? That ache. But in a spot where there was no reason for it to hurt. The white rectangle on my skin started going purple while I watched. not spreading out like a bruise normally does. Filling in. The color was filling in from the edges toward the center, staying perfectly inside the rectangle shape. Like something was coloring it in from underneath. I put the photo down on the floor. Pain didn't stop. The photo finished developing and it showed my arm. With the bruise. Same shape, same size, same location. Like it had taken a picture of something that hadn't happened yet and then made it happen. I left. I want to say I was calm about it, but honestly I just kind of walked out fast. Didn't run, but definitely wasn't casual about it. So the next morning the bruise looks like it's been there for days. Dark in the middle, tender when I press on it, perfectly. Rectangular, which I shouldn't have to tell you is not how bruises work. And the center of it is still lighter than the rest. Almost pale. Also, and this is going to sound weird, but I swear hair stopped growing inside the rectangle. Like that patch of skin wasn't mine anymore. Like it had been replaced with something that looked like skin but wasn't exactly. I should have left it alone. I know that. You know that. Everyone reading this knows that. But I went back to the house. I told myself I needed to finish the job because I do. They don't pay me if I don't finish, and I'm not about to lose a contract because I got freaked out by a piece of film. The box was still there. Everything was where I left it. Except the top photo on the stack wasn't blank anymore. It had developed on its own overnight. Sitting in a dark closet in an empty house with nobody there. The image was the closet floor. The box. And a hand reaching toward it. My hand. From earlier. But the angle was wrong. It was taken from inside the closet. From up high, like from the shelf above the rod. Looking down at me opening the box. Nothing was on that shelf. I checked when I first found the box. There was nothing up there. I picked the photo up. Had my work gloves on this time because I'm dumb, but I'm not that dumb. It twitched. I need you to understand what I mean. I don't mean it moved because my hand was shaking. I mean the photo itself spasmed. Like a muscle. Like something alive. One quick twitch and then still again. The image started getting darker while I held it. The shadows in the closet in the picture were getting deeper. The inside of the box was going black, way blacker than it should be, and then something leaned forward out of that darkness in the photo. Not a face. That's what everybody asks me. Was it a face? No. It was more like a face-shaped dark spot. Like if darkness had layers and something pushed through from behind. My bruise lit up. Felt like someone put a cigarette out on my arm. I dropped the photo. Yanked my glove off because my palm was burning now too. Red rectangle in the center of my palm. Same size as the photo edge. Right where my fingers gripped it through the glove. So obviously I took the whole box home. Yeah, I know. I know. I don't have a good explanation for why I did that except that I think I was already past the point of making smart decisions. I think when something impossible happens to you, your brain just kind of stops running the is this a good idea program and starts running the I need to understand this program and you do stupid things. Kitchen table. I dump everything out. Camera, film, stack of photos. I'm just sitting there staring at it like it's going to explain itself. The camera clicked. My hands were in my lap. I was not touching it. It clicked by itself. The mechanical sound of a Polaroid taking a picture. Then the motor noise. Then a photo slid out of the front. It slid across the table and stopped right in front of me. I don't mean it traveled because the table was tilted. My table isn't tilted. It slid across a flat surface and stopped in front of me like someone pushed it. I didn't pick it up. I just sat there and watched it develop. It was me, sitting at my kitchen table. From across the room, like from the doorway to the living room. In the picture my left hand was up and there was a black square on my palm. Not the red mark that was actually there. Black. Like a hole. My real hand started burning. Deep. Not surface level. Like the pain was coming from inside my hand, from the bones or the tendons or whatever is in there. I ran to the sink and held it under cold water and it didn't help at all. Watched the skin on my palm go white, then red, then this dark angry color. Perfect square edges. Like it was printed on me. The camera was pointed at me from the table. The lens was facing me. I had dumped it out random.